and welcome to another episode of Too Weird Didn't Watch, the show where we make fun of movies that we haven't seen yet, based on nothing but their weird description.
I am Brantley.
And I am Albert. We're going to start off with one that I hope we have not done already, Brantley. We've done over 100 episodes, and some of
Most
these...
with having at least 3 movies in them.
Yes, so some of these are like in with other things that I should have crossed out but didn't. But I think we have not done Visiting Hours from 1982. Does it ring a bell with you?
No, I was more trying to make a joke about hospital visiting hours, but it didn't.
I think there's going to be a hospital in this one.
What?
Yeah.
What a crazy
Deborah
random
Ballin is a controversial middle-aged TV journalist. So, I guess, imagine like a Nancy Grace type? Although, is Nancy Grace controversial, or is she just more or less universally hated? I guess some people must unironically watch her.
She stays on the air.
And be like, yeah!
Or, I mean, then again, she might just be getting a bunch of hate views.
I mean, I guess whatever gets the advertising dollars out there. Who is campaigning on air on behalf of a battered woman who murdered her abusive husband, claiming justifiable defense against the so-called victim. All right. I mean, it's a debate. You could have, like, I don't know that that's fair, but it's not the craziest thing to talk about. But her outspoken views championing women's rights, I don't know if murdering people is women's right. I don't know if that one's a feminist thing.
I think it's more, she's defending her right to defend herself, and then it's also just like throwing in women's rights on top of it.
Yeah.
It's a separate discussion to have.
Her outspoken views incense one of the studio's cleaning staff. Closet homicidal psycho and misogynist Colt Hawker.
I don't know if closet's the right term there. I don't know that it's not, but it's...
I mean, if he hasn't killed anybody, if he's not out talking about how much he hates women.
Okay. Just secretly.
Yeah. Whose deep-seated despising of all things female occurred from seeing his mother throwing boiling oil in the face of his abusive father when he was a small child. I can see that. I guess. I mean, I don't know that I want to, like, I don't like the whole, like, when he was a child, his parents messed him up. That seems like it's a little simplistic and obvious.
Yeah.
But that's kind of true. Fair enough. Yes. This guy is misogynist Batman. His mother killed his father in the alleyway after they were at the theater, and he put on the hood.
So kind of Flashpoint Batman.
Oh yeah, because there's the weird lady Joker, right?
Yeah, his mom becomes the Joker, but Bruce died and the parents lived, and they went crazy in 2 different ways. My son was scared as a bat, so now I'm a bat. Because there has to be a Batman.
Yes. Well, that's fine. And whose MO is to photograph victims he stabs as they're spasming to death.
Not going to be getting good pictures there, man.
Yeah, it's probably going to be blurry. Mm-hmm. Like, you really need people to hold still for a minute.
Yeah, just take it after they're dead.
I guess he has really high shutter speed, maybe. Like, he has some good film.
He does work at a news station, so maybe he has access to high-quality cameras.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so this is going to call back. So he's been incensed. So much so that he decides there and then to shut her up. Permanently!
So he's going to knock off the air.
Yeah, he's going to start a petition, a letter writing campaign that he's going to go and he's going to send mail to all of the advertisers, get them cut off. Probably like create some spoof return addresses, enlist some local other misogynists to help him out in the
Misogynist United.
Those misogynist meetings we all attend secretly for our misogynist.
And what do you
training.
hate about women? They got boobs. I like looking at them, but I hate that they have them.
They don't like me looking at them, and I don't like that. I should be able to look at them. Somebody should invent like a machine that lets me look at boobs all the time.
Terry, what do you hate about women? They can make babies. That ain't natural. Terry's not the smartest guy of the group, but, you know, he's a regular. He brings good food.
Babies freak him out.
Like,
managing to beat her home. Like, this is... The thing about this is, like, he's decided to kill her. He doesn't need to be this impulsive. Like, he's racing... Like, he's like, she needs to be taken off the air permanently. And he's like, I'm going to get in my car right now and drive to her home that I know where it is because I looked it up in the database of the television station or whatever.
I'm going to put forward the concept, the idea, you might say the theory, that people what are willing to murder might not be making the best decisions and might not be the most there mentally.
You think?
Yeah. That has been my experience.
Okay. He soon dispatches her maid, Francine, before turning his rage onto her as she come home, greeting her in only wearing her jewelry and makeup.
Getting a little Norman Batesy here.
Okay.
He's naked wearing her makeup.
He's naked wearing her makeup and
earrings and necklace.
Do you think he's an attractive man? Like, are we imagining, like, a middle-aged dude with the paunch and, like, a beard that's not very well kept, but he's wearing makeup and her jewelry?
I wasn't picturing the beard, because when did this come out? This is, like, 90s, 80s? Yeah, so clean-shaven was more the thing, especially if you're working
in a studio. Kind of area, he's a janitor, though.
He is. I was picturing more clean-shaven.
Okay.
He's a janitor, so...
Hair or no hair?
Hair, but balding.
Okay.
Like, not like the full cul-de-sac, but it's hidden there.
Because if I see this dude, this paunch dude, wearing poorly applied makeup and the gaudiest jewelry he could pick out.
Also naked.
Naked. I think that I will be happy to have him kill me, so I won't have to be looking at that anymore.
Or you could run.
You could run away.
Is a possibility. We're real good at it.
But you'll be able to remember that. The fact that I'm thinking about it right now is kind of making me wish that I wasn't.
Well, then don't.
Okay. Well, I'll continue then.
Okay.
Despite the brutal injuries he lashes out on her, not really how I would use that sentence, but okay, or that word, but okay. She manages to survive and is rushed off to the hospital. By who?
She probably calls 911. Cell phones were a thing.
So, not as much in 1982.
No, but they existed.
I mean, I know she's a news anchor, but even that, like,
yeah,
it's like $100 a minute.
We are reading the story, but there was like a mini chase throughout her house.
Yeah.
So she probably had somewhere where she could call, and then like after she gets through, they cut the landlines.
Or and then the police come and he runs off.
Yeah, naked with jewelry and makeup.
Yeah.
No paunch.
Okay, but undaunted, he catches up to her in the hospital, and these are the best words that I've read recently, apparently.
Okay.
Disguised as a florist. So he's no
Male
longer
or female,
naked.
You think? Is he wearing a wig?
The idea of being a florist, while I'm aware that it is open to all genders, in my mind,
does say female.
Is coded very, very female.
Yeah.
So disguised as a florist, he enter the building.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little typo. To continue his mission to finish her off, along with anyone else who gets under his skin. This guy does not have a good long-term life
men
plan.
Too? This guy just...
No, only people who get under his skin.
Apparently. Oh, right, only the women, sorry. I misunderstood.
I don't think you understand.
It's my fault. Was that the end? Ready?
That was it. That was the end, yes.
That was abrupt.
Sometimes they don't all go to the end.
That's fair.
Or go to, like...
They find their own stopping point and then they do so.
Brantley's got the next movie for us today. Brantley, what do you got?
This movie is about tomorrow, Saturday the 14th.
Oh, no.
That's what it's called. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I think I've looked at it. This is a jokey movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna veto your ability to do this, but I will voice my hesitation about making fun of a movie that's already trying to be silly. It's like, what joke are you gonna make? They're obviously intentionally being stupid.
Oh yeah, but that's, people still do riff tracks as Trolls 2, so.
You think Trolls 2 is intentional?
Have you seen Trolls 2?
I've seen pieces of Trolls 2.
There is no aspect of the movie that was not clear that they were aware they're making it. First off, there's no trolls in the movie.
I'm aware of that. There is...
Continuing our digressions, it is about
Have you seen Suburban Bigfoot?
No.
I haven't either, but I've seen pieces of it. And it's got a Bigfoot in, like, the worst Bigfoot costume you've ever seen. And it has boobs. It's not a girl Bigfoot, but for some reason it's got, like,
Alright, so he's overweight.
Well-defined Bigfoot boobs. And it kills a man by ripping another man's arm off and throwing it at him so hard that it, like, collapses his chest cavity or something.
That's awesome.
It's like shot on VHS, essentially, so it's not good. But people make these kinds of movies like with complete seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not convinced on the Trolls 2 thing.
You've seen the Oh My God bit, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. I know that Simon Pegg was doing it on purpose in Mission Impossible, not Ghost Protocol.
I haven't seen any of those movies, so
Rogue
I can't
Nation.
help you.
When he makes a specific call out to it. But I don't think that kid was intentionally trying to create a meme in 1970 or whenever they made that movie. Why don't you read your movie now?
Okay. It's the second unluckiest day of the year. Pennsylvania is beginning to look a lot like Transylvania in the horror spoof Saturday the 14th.
Oh, I hate this. Pennsylvania is starting to look a lot like Transylvania. Right.
You said that almost to the tune of it's starting to look a lot like
I
Christmas.
know I did. Pennsylvania's beginning to start to look a lot like... I can't do it again.
Transylvania.
Everywhere you go.
There's monsters in the square and a ghost at the Grand Hotel.
A ghost that's over there.
There you go.
Will rhyme better.
Yeah.
We'll
workshop this.
Over there. The gauzy kind that doesn't like to show.
They're hard to come up when you're trying to sing at the same time. Anyways, John and Mary can't believe their good fortune when they inherit the vast estate of John's recently departed uncle. I haven't seen the story in a while, honestly. The mysterious uncle died, and now you have a fancy house. It's almost like people aren't as wealthy and have fancy houses. Sure, it's a fixer-upper, but there's nothing that can't be taken care of with a fresh coat of paint, a little dusting, and maybe an exorcist.
So there's ghosts.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It turns out that they've just moved into the most eerie house in Erie, Pennsylvania. And one that some loathsome looky-loos are simply dying to take off their hands.
Is it actually taking place in Erie, Pennsylvania?
It says that.
Just as a random side note, the
Not
children's television show Erie, Indiana is great. The first season.
I love how much you're fighting this. We still got more to go, don't worry. There's not much, though. Monsters, mayhem, and mirth descend upon the house, and only a mysterious book can save this everyday normal family from Saturday's paranormal activity. That movie wasn't out yet.
This has nothing to do... Like, why is...
Yes?
No, I was going to say, why is it called Saturday the 14th? But then I remembered that there's an entire series of movies called Friday the 13th that, as far as I can remember, never mention what date it is in the movie.
The first one takes place on Friday the 13th, because that's Jason's birthday. It's the 13th of July, I think.
Okay.
And he also died on his birthday, which was also Friday the 13th, somehow, because that's how dates work. And so years later...
It could happen... if you were born on the 13th, every 7 years it would be a Friday.
Yeah, but I think it's only like 3 years later.
Jason is not 3 years old.
No. He dies on Friday the 13th. And then like 3 or so years later, Pamela Voorhees is murdered.
2 per year, though, right? But is it the same... it's on the anniversary.
Because they're opening up, they're getting ready for summer, so it might be a little bit before.
We've cracked the code on Friday the 13th. It doesn't make sense, Brantley.
There's also a debate about what year the movie takes place, but it's fault. Anyway, that's all I have for Saturday the 14th. But you know what I have next? Saturday the 14th Strikes Back! We're still in it. We're still here.
Couldn't they have gone with Sunday the 15th?
No, that would have been silly. Come on.
Or like Thursday the 12th.
It's a prequel.
We need to make that movie.
Just nothing weird happens. It's just a family comedy.
It's
and then at the end, it's just like, well, Johnny, you ready to go on your summer vacation? Camp Crystal Lake! Then, like, ha ha happens as over credits. That'd be fun. But that's not what we're doing. After moving into a decrepit, inherited mansion with his family, Eddie is the only one to notice the mysterious mists that spill up from the basement and engender odd behavior in everyone but himself and lovable old Gramps.
Okay. So, wait. This is a 90s sequel. Or, I don't know how they...
This one's 1988, I believe.
The first one was when?
1981.
This is the sequel that's just literally the same movie again with different characters. It's like that Open Water 2 where they were like, and then some more divers got in the water and couldn't get up in the boat.
Or most of the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, I was thinking of my
or most of the
example movies. Of this is the Homeward Bound movie and its sequel, where Homeward Bound 2
where they're stuck in a city, though?
Literally the same movie, plot point for plot point, except it takes place in the city and they have the blood red van, which I guess you could maybe map to the Cougar Chase, but it's a little more fleshed out.
I didn't watch that movie all the way through. I watched a couple glimpses, like, yeah.
I was a child, and like we had very limited options on what we could watch, so I took what I could get.
Well, I didn't own it. I think either a friend or a cousin had it, and we started watching it, and I just lost all interest, and just went and did something else, and came back, and they were just still in the city, and I was like, I don't care.
To be fair, the first one's not exactly a banger of a movie.
It's not, but there's a lot of nostalgia tied up in it.
Yeah, it's not like...
It's also a remake.
Ripping... Oh, is it?
Yeah. So anyways, a little old Gramps... Not bothered by this spooky mist from the basement.
Does he notice it?
No, Eddie notices it. But it makes everybody else, except for him and Gramps, look weird. Probably Gramps' soul is just like, nah, I ain't doing it.
Like the actor was just like, I'm not wearing that prosthetic.
No.
I'll like act weird. And they're like, no, we need you to. I actually like, I'm trying to think of, this is kind of a trope where like there's the kid and then the grandparent who believes them, and then they're both on opposite ends of the spectrum of like people caring about what they think, right? So the grandparent is there living off of his kids because he can't live on his own anymore, and so he's probably kind of senile. He's what am I trying to say? Like he's not
connected to the world anymore.
He's not as connected anymore, right? All of his friends are basically dead or not,
they are in the same boat as him, so they don't interact, so maybe writing each other.
So it's the kids who don't care about what the grandparent thinks and the kids that don't care about what the kid thinks, like the actual child thinks. And so they have a common bond. I really like this plot point in this movie that I vehemently object to.
Yes. The entire family, from Eddie's dad to his freeloading Aunt Alice, is a busy house.
Well, they all inherit it together.
Yeah. Soon begins conducting late-night chocolate fudge sculpture classes in the kitchen.
Okay, what?
Which makes me think of the Close Encounters of the Third Time when he's doing the mashed potato.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably that. They probably literally do that.
Chairs begin eating people.
Cherries or...
Chairs.
Chairs.
Like what we're sitting on.
So...
Aunt Alice spouts werewolf-style facial hair. What does that mean? And monsters begin issuing forth...
If it's a woman sprouting facial hair, like, you could just stop with that, I guess.
And monsters begin issuing forth from a crack in the basement floor! Honestly, this movie about chairs eating people would be more interesting.
Yeah, this is like a sequel to Deathbed, the bed that eats. Mm-hmm. And then there's, like, chairs.
That chairs also eat.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what, like, if you could have a better tagline. What's another name for chair? They have... There's not like a lot of verbiage associated with chairs. Right? You just...
Seat?
The seat of evil?
Yeah.
Yes, chair, the seat of evil. Yes, why is that not the whole movie? You want to make a stupid comedy, which I get.
He has literally stood up, by the way.
My butt's sore now.
Okay, yeah, it's not a great chair you're sitting on, by the way.
So you want to make a stupid movie. I doubt this movie's ability to be funny, but they're going to try to be funny. And why not have Evil chairs. Forget about the monsters. You're not going to do them better than every other movie that's ever done monsters. You have evil eating chairs that eat people somehow. I don't know how that works.
What kind of chairs are you picturing?
Well, so initially, like, the first thing that came up in my mind was, like, they're doing these sculptures in the
chairs,
kitchen.
Right, that's what I got.
Right, so they're dining room chairs. But as I was, right before you asked that question, it popped into my head that the easier chair to have eat people would be like a big recliner, easy chair. The bigger, the better, essentially.
A lazy boy.
And then, like, it has a mouth that opens in that spot where the seat and the back meet. Comically, in some cases. It probably talks to the kid. Like, it opens up, there's like a tongue that flops out, and it's like, come over here, Johnny. Why don't you sit down?
Feed me, Seymour.
Get off your feet.
Take a load off. I'm not sitting on you. Come on.
Sit on my face, Johnny.
I was gonna not make that joke, but you made the joke. And now the joke's there.
Yep.
And we all have to live with it. Unless you edit it out. Which you can't do, because I keep talking about it. Thus locking you into using the joke.
There's also more opportunities for there to be like an eye type thing. It's folded in some way where it looks like it has eyes.
Or those like the leather chairs that have around the, they have like the button in there that holds the leather in. And it's like kind of compressed around it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Describing it in a terrible way, but...
Right.
Like those...
We need to go make this movie.
Anyways. Soon, a leggy blonde vampire named Charlene has taken up residence in Eddie's room. While all the
there's
chairs
like a
are
whole rom-com, boner comedy type thing happening.
Yep. She tells the boy he's set to inherit the mantle of darkness from a fiend known as the Evil One at the stroke of midnight on Saturday the 14th. So now the title actually matters in the sequel.
It does. Why are they... Is it just about, like, the name recognition? Because there's
the first
no
one entirely.
slasher stuff happening at all.
Well, this one is like, makes it an unimportant day. And there's probably a joke about why wouldn't it be the Friday the 13th? It's like, no, everybody gets that wrong. The 14th is more important.
I almost like it less than they're calling it out as like they're just important. In both cases, the original and this terrible mockumentary, not mockumentary. I don't know what I'm saying. Continue if there's more to continue with.
As signs and portents proliferate. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's fine. It's weird to have that kind of words at the end of this.
Proliferation of portents?
No, like, that's fine, like the alliteration, but it's weird to have those words at the end of everything else that's come before in this description.
Right.
We just had, a leggy blonde vampire show up out of nowhere, and it's like, portents and signs and proliferation.
Yeah, do we need more? Like, there's monsters and mist and
carrying people,
chairs and, like, a sexy vampire lady, and then also Jupiter is...
in retrograde.
In retrograde to Venus. I don't know how that all works. I'm sorry.
Eddie must decide whether to reject temptation or bask in his newfound powers. Which he has, I guess. Help arrives unexpectedly in the form of Leonard Cavendish, Gramps' deceased best friend.
I'm coming around to this movie.
But you don't like that you are.
I don't, no, but it's like... I'm envisioning...
There's parts that are really interesting. Like the chair... Just a movie about people eating chairs is fun.
Also, so I'm envisioning a little bit of Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
Where this kid... Again, not to reiterate too much, he's probably not really cared for too much by his family. Maybe he's an annoying teen.
It's the not-now kiddo trope, yeah.
Right. And I'm envisioning him as like 12, 13. Mm-hmm. So like the sexy vampire lady... is a real temptation. The unlimited power, or whatever it is a real temptation. So, if this was not a comedy, if this was not trying to be stupid, I would be very much into it. The actual decision of, and the fact that the grandfather is in, like, he is going to be past the, like, I need to have sex with hot blonde lady, hopefully.
Maybe.
Like, he'll still be into it, but he's seen enough where he's like, there will be more hot ladies, son. And
that won't try to drink your blood.
Right.
And he's a vampire also.
So, like, he's like the anchor that's keeping him grounded in what he ought to do. And maybe even, like, the sexy lady's trying to get him to do something to get rid of Gramps. And now there's this ghost also that's, like, taking Gramps' side and saying, hey, you're gonna do something. I don't know if he's gonna kill Gramps, right? Like, that's not in evidence here. But in my mind, there's actually an interesting conflict for this kid. And I don't think that's probably the actual movie, but...
No. I feel a lot of the screen time is going to be spent out with just wacky hijinks.
Yeah.
With, the ant has a beard. How crazy!
I'm also judging this a lot on the fact that I've never heard of it, except for in looking things up for this show. So I'm going to guess it's probably not actually that funny or good.
Yeah, that's fair. But there are some gems.
Yeah.
And it might just be, like, ironically funny. Like, the jokes are bad, but they're trying, and that's kind of endearing.
That's fair. That'll do it for us for this week, folks. Thank you so much for listening. I am wrung out from today. It's like 7 o'clock. I've worked all day. We've had a lost recording. I'm tired. But if you have got any energy left at the end of this podcast, you should leave us a review wherever it is that you leave reviews for podcasts these days. I hear you can do it on Spotify if you're on Apple still for some reason, even though they released that abomination of a phone.
Phone.
It's got 18 cameras on it!
So?
Why does it need 18 cameras? Just buy a camera. Just buy it. Like, if you need it to be so good that you can't fit it all into one camera, you just glue a bunch of other cameras. You could just go buy a camera. Because it's already amazing.
Yes, but phones fit in the pocket. And you can just carry it. It's more easy to carry with you. Yeah. So if something happens, it's like, I wish I had I have camera in pocket.
We already have that.
Yes, but
it doesn't need to be perfect. Yeah, anyway, we're not knife overview.
There have been things I've been trying to get a picture of that are too far away, and it's just like, well, that's just a blurry pixel.
They make little things you can snap onto your camera.
Yes, but I don't have those. Now you don't have to buy that. Because it has the camera there for you.
Now you can spend $3,000. I don't know how much it actually is, but an insane amount of money on a camera that has an extra camera attached that goes further. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.